The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
Put the power back in your hands. This is Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark.
Happy weekend and welcome to Behind the Law. We have a great show for you today. And as always, let me remind you, we have people standing by to answer your questions right now. The phone number will be on the screen the entire show, 321-282-1055. Welcome in, as always, my beautiful co-host, dear friend, Michaela Nicholas. Michaela, how are you?
Fantastic.
You are the non-lawyer here on the TV screen. Your job is to ask the questions that the people at home are going to have, because I think you see things maybe that I think we all understand. You don't, as a non-lawyer.
You're right, I don't.
Well, but that's why you're here. We love having you here to ask the questions for the people at home. Are you ready to go?
I am.
Here's what's coming up. First of all, Rajan Joshi talks about Miranda rights. What do they have to tell you? Also, Erin Morse is here to talk about divorce, child custody. It's going to be a great show. And finally, slip and fall, okay? You're at Home Depot. You fall down. What are your rights when that happens if you get injured? You ready to go?
I am.
Great show. Here's what we'll do. Quick break. When we return, Behind the Law continues.
Managing your investment property is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up at GoRent123.com. 2. Let Greater Orlando Realty handle everything for you when it comes to managing your property. From qualifying tenants to collecting rent, processing maintenance requests, and everything in between. 3. Sit back, relax, and count all that money you're making. Earning passive income on your property is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Greater Orlando Realty. Visit GoRent123.com today.
Welcome back to the show, and allow me to remind you that we are here live. The phone number's on the screen. It will be during the entire show, 321-282-1055. If you have any questions whatsoever, it won't cost you a penny to call in, ask your questions right now. But one question that I get often is, what are these Miranda rights? You've watched Live PD when it was around, or Cops, and you have the right to remain silent. What does that mean exactly? And how can you use that if you're charged with a crime later to protect yourself? Who better to ask than Rajan Joshi, our favorite criminal defense attorney. Rajan, welcome back. How are you, sir?
Thank you. Doing good.
And so, look, I know a lot about Live PD. I know it's off the air now, but I've learned a lot of my cop stuff from Live PD, and a lot of people aren't going to admit that here in the studio, but they're the same. You know, they learned everything from Live PD or Cops back in the day. You have the right to remain silent. What is that? What does it mean, and how does it protect me?
Well, essentially, the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees a person a right against self-incrimination. Now, when somebody's arrested or stopped by the police, they almost feel like they have an obligation to talk to the police. And a lot of times people will go there and they'll talk, and they feel like it's going to help them. And what the Supreme Court said in the case of Miranda is, no, the police have to tell you when you're in custody that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And a lot of people don't know they have a right to an attorney. So that right has to be relayed to them. And, you know, if they can't afford one will be appointed. So essentially, the Supreme Court has put a duty on the police to inform citizens of these rights. The police do not need to read the rights in order to make a lawful arrest, but they need to read the rights if they're going to interview someone in custody in order for that interview and confession to be used in court.
So you get stopped, you get pulled over by the police, and they say, okay, step out of the car, we're going to search your car. But they say you're only being detained, you're not being arrested. What is the difference?
Well, the police can detain someone temporarily if they have like reasonable suspicion that they committed a crime. They're not formally under arrest or in custody, but they can't leave. And then as they continue on their investigation, if they develop probable cause to believe this person probably committed a crime, then they can place them in custody and under arrest. At that point, that triggers the rights if they're going to go ahead and start interviewing the suspect.
So let's say I'm hammered, okay, and I get arrested, thrown in the back of the police car. I'm under arrest at that point, I presume, but the officer has not read me my Miranda rights, and I'm so drunk I just start spewing things out, you know, yelling at the cop or whatever in the front seat. I say, I've had 20 beers. Is that now admissible later?
Absolutely, because what Miranda does is it only applies to interrogation. So if the police officer asks you, sir, how many beers have you had? And he didn't read you your rights, and you respond, I had 20. That, you know, if you have a good lawyer, they're going to keep that out. But if you're sitting there saying, I had 20 beers and I don't care and I'm going to drive no matter what, that's all coming in.
Right.
Yikes.
So, I mean, how can Miranda be used then if I'm a criminal defendant? How do you use it when you're representing your criminal clients to help get cases dismissed?
Essentially, first thing I got to look at is, are they in custody? You know, and that's a totality of circumstances. There's no bright line rule to say, you know, if they're in custody. It depends. Would a reasonable person feel free to leave? So I look at the factors: how many police officers there were, what type of confinement the person had. Then I have to look at if they read them their rights and if they continued interviewing them. And, you know, I've gotten cases thrown out where they didn't read them their rights properly. They read almost all their rights, but they forgot to tell them, well, if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed at no cost. So my client talks, and I'm like, well, he wasn't given Miranda. You know, he was given everything else, but a very important part, so his confession shouldn't be used in court.
Right.
And, you know, it works because what we're doing is we're protecting a person's constitutional rights. We're protecting them. And the Supreme Court has given guidelines for the police, and if they don't follow it, then the punishment is the evidence doesn't come into court.
I think this week was the 53rd anniversary of us landing on the moon, okay? I imagine 53 years ago, every police officer did not have a body cam like it seems like we have now. How has this proliferation of body cameras changed your job and really changed things for criminal defendants?
It's made it actually a lot easier because time and time again, I've read reports, and you know somehow the reports. And I'm not faulting all police officers. There are some excellent police officers out there. Most are, but I've seen reports, and then I've seen video camera footage. You know that may have been at a bar or something like that. That is totally contrary. Now with the body cams, it keeps the police accountable. Sure. It keeps them from crossing the line and covering up. At the same time, sometimes it can be used against the client because you know the client does react a certain way. It's caught on tape, and you know it works both ways.
I mean, couldn't you argue that it is? I imagine there are police officers out there that hate it because it shows everything they're doing. But if you're a good police officer, wouldn't you want this to protect yourselves in so many ways, having this body cam on you?
Absolutely, and I would say most police officers are good people. Yeah. They're doing a job, and they find the body cam makes their job easier because they don't whatever they're going to write in their report is already documented and captured on video.
You know,
Does their body cam just like turn on automatically? Like, could they just like wait?
Essentially, you know, they got to put it on. I've had cases, and it depends on the agency and depends on the technology. I've had cases where officers have forgotten to turn the body cam on, you know, yes, very conveniently. But other times it does just trigger on. I guess it's just depending on the agency and the technology.
And look, if you have been charged with a crime, they say that buying a house is the most important investment of your life. Being charged with a crime is also going to be one of the most important investments of your life, and that's hiring the right criminal defense attorney. Rajan Joshi is at 321-282-1055. If you have questions for us right this second, call us at that phone number. We will answer them immediately as well. It's weird because, again, I think that when you start getting investigated for something, they put you in that room. There's this old saying, good cop, bad cop. That doesn't even apply just in criminal law or in criminal charges whatsoever. Literally, let's play good cop, bad cop. We're not even talking about cops. It's a saying in our lexicon now. It happens in real life, and they will come play good cop with you, and they haven't even charged you with anything yet. They can really somewhat lull you into a friendship with them to get you to talk.
Absolutely, and a lot of people think that talking is going to help them. They think that, well, maybe if they explain it or they're truthful and they confess to it, that the police will take it easy on them, the prosecutor will take it easy on them, and that's, you know, the one thing, the old saying, the truth will set you free, is the furthest thing in criminal law. You know, the truth usually locks the people up, and what they want is they want that confession. That's like icing on the cake. That's like a bow and a ribbon on the criminal case, handing it to them, because you've got the confession from the person who did it. They've admitted to it. Now it's harder if that comes into court for the person then to get up on the stand and explain things any differently. And sometimes their confession was not voluntarily given. I've gotten confessions thrown out where the police would start these games with them saying, hey, look, you talk to us, we're not going to do anything. We just want to help you. and they lure these people into a false sense of security, and the person ends up confessing, and all of a sudden he's locked up, because the police can lie to them. But if they make any promises or make any threats, then and get a confession of that confession is not voluntarily given, and it can be thrown out.
Yeah, and I've seen you get cases dismissed. I mean, pretty significant charges get dismissed and set your clients free, and rightly so. What are some other reasons, though? Because I've seen you get so many cases dismissed. What are some other ways you've gotten criminal cases dismissed?
One particular case I had was when an individual was going in the airport wearing a military outfit, and he was in the military. And it was a crime in Florida to wear a military outfit, imitation of a military outfit, or part of a military outfit.
Really?
Really?
Yes. And it was a misdemeanor, and he was going to give the diversion program or get his case dropped. I instead challenged the constitutionality of that statute. I said that statute's unconstitutional. What if a person's wearing a Halloween costume? Is that a crime? What if a person's wearing, their husband's coat because, it's cold outside? Is that a crime? So I argued that it violates the 14th Amendment and the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And the court struck the statute down. It's unconstitutional. They appealed it to the 5th District Court of Appeals, and they upheld it, so it knocked it down for the whole state. So, what it takes looking at every single finite detail. I had another case where these individuals committed a home invasion robbery and shot someone, and they all jumped into a black Mercedes. The person who wasn't shot at the home called and said it was a black Mercedes, from this attempted murder.
Right.
The police stopped the first black Mercedes they saw, surrounded it, found all the evidence, found all the co-defendants, and arrested my client. I mean, everything was there. The gun was there. He was the shooter. But I argued that the police only had the evidence of and this suspicion of a black Mercedes, not a license plate number, not a license plate tag. They didn't know whether it was a 4-door Mercedes, 2-door Mercedes. So all the evidence got suppressed, thrown out, and my client didn't do any prison time at all.
Now, you get a lot of people that come in who are charged with maybe a small misdemeanor, maybe it's their first time being charged with a crime, and the state will come, you don't really need a lawyer, this is going to be a diversion situation, when really they have no evidence. Even having that diversion on your record can end up messing things up for you later.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to have a lawyer to check everything, to look at what the state has, challenge the evidence, and then determine what is the best interest for the client.
Rajan Joshi, as always, it's a pleasure, buddy.
Thank you.
I know you're going on a little vacation. Enjoy the family.
Thank you.
And if you have been charged with a crime, or you know anyone that's been charged with a crime, or even getting investigated, do yourself a favor. Call Rajan right now, 321-282-1055. When we return, you've been injured in an accident. Where do you go for medical treatment? It's just ahead as Behind the Law continues. Does credit card debt have you spinning out of control? You are not helpless. At Attorneys Justin Clark and Associates, our goal is to lower or even eliminate your credit card debt. Call me today or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Is student loan debt holding you back? I'm Attorney Justin Clark. You may have the power to lower or even eliminate the payments that have you living paycheck to paycheck. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your life. Our good buddy Greg Mann is here, property manager, the best in the business, I assure you. Greg, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It scares me a little bit because there are some people still out there who own real estate, who rent it out, and they want to do it themselves. I never advise that whatsoever because, and you've seen it, Greg, people who rent houses out to someone else and decide they want to do self-help evictions, they can get in trouble legally for that.
Yeah, well, first of all, they're not professionals, so they don't know what they're doing. And as you would know better than most people, if you don't know what you're doing and you're not a professional, don't do it. So avoid it. If you self-manage and you need to do an eviction, go to an attorney.
Even that aside, though, anyone who owns real estate that they're renting out really should have a property manager such as yourself. What are all the things that you do to make life easier for me, the landlord?
From start to finish, we rent the house out, we collect the rent, we send it to you, we maintain the house. everything's just one package. It's simple.
It is. And vendors, you know so many vendors. You make life easier for me, the landlord, because you have those connections already.
We do, but we actually really screen our vendors really well. You know, so every vendor that works with us, licensed and insured, and we turn vendors down left, right, and center. But you know, we're always looking for good vendors too.
And wouldn't you say, some people say, I'm going to rent it myself because I don't want to pay Greg, I don't want to pay a property manager. But wouldn't you say you actually save the landlord money over time because of your relationship with these vendors?
Absolutely, we save money. Not only do we save money with the vendors, we save time, which you can never get back.
And 2 a.m. phone calls, I'm not getting those.
No, you won't. I get those.
Literally, as the property owner, I just buy the property and turn everything over to you and collect checks. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's like winning the lottery every single day.
If you own real, thank you, Greg, as always. We always appreciate your insight. If you own real estate that you're renting out and you're handling it yourself, it's not a good idea. You can get yourself into trouble and it's going to cost you money. Call Greg Mann today. More Behind the Law is just ahead. Welcome back, and I am so excited about this. We're going to talk about divorce, child custody, and something we haven't ever talked about on the show. It's slip and fall. Erin Morse is here, attorney extraordinaire. How are you, Erin?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing great. Walter Rogers is here, another great attorney, outdressing me like pretty much everyone does.
Oh,
you look
no
great,
thanks.
buddy. How
no
are
thanks.
you?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it. Erin, let me start with you because, and we were talking a little bit before the show, Walter and I don't really do any family law, and it seems scary to us because it seems like just warfare. I mean, what is family law really like? A divorce case, what is it like?
Well, it really ranges. So there are some divorces that people just want out and it almost doesn't matter, and they'll just whatever it takes to get us out. And then there's some cases that are really, you know, your knockdown dragouts, right down to the last penny, to, you know, the last towel in the cabinet that they want to make sure that the divorce handles, right? So.
Yeah, what is the craziest thing you've seen someone fight over?
I had a client who was a very well-known artist, and he had a very large collection of art. His wife would not settle the divorce without getting this collection of art.
His art.
His art.
Oh, wow.
His art. Why the wife wanted it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, it had value, but it was still his art that he hadn't, you know, he'd created, but he hadn't put it up. So it had the potential for value, but not specifically known value. So we had to value it based on what the husband believed it was valued at. Nonetheless, that was part of the agreement. They hauled all of the art into my office. So it's in my conference room, these piles and piles, and it's all various types of art. It isn't one media. So we go to the final hearing, and the judge, who's now retired, but she was a hoot, she pulls me and the attorney up. She's like, I need you two to sidebar. And she comes up to us and she goes, why does this marital settlement agreement say that the wife is getting the husband's art? I know who this artist is. And she goes, am I going to see on the news later today that there was a bonfire to spite him? And both me and the attorney did not have an answer, but it's what it took to settle this case.
Right.
So she was in my office, so she, not my client, right? I represent the artist, crying her eyes out, telling me about whatever she had to say, and I was like, I can't talk to you. Take your art and go.
Right, bye-bye. And you know, I know couples do fight over money and cars and houses, but at the end of the day, oftentimes we have children involved as well. And I imagine that should be the most important thing when it comes to a divorce case. How do we determine child custody?
So the statute has some best interest factors. There's a whole host of them, nearly the full alphabet worth of factors.
Really?
Yeah, and generally it's the best interest of the minor child, so not the best interest of the parents. So if the court finds that what is inconvenient or not great for a parent is what's good for the children, they will make the decision of what's good for the children. So what you need as a parent is really not entirely what's important, it's what the children need.
Yeah, and obviously the children should be most important. If you're going through some sort of custody battle or a divorce, call us right now. You can ask us a question right now. I will connect you with Erin immediately. 321-282-1055. And when it comes to children, I imagine there are times where a child, maybe 8, 10 years old, is angry at one parent, thinks that one parent created this divorce, and I don't want to see dad, or I don't want to see mom. How do we deal with the child in that situation when the parent wants to be a parent, but the child is saying no?
So the quick and easy answer to that is some therapeutic intervention. So it's your reunification therapy, it's counseling, it's trying to get on the child's level, trying to really focus on their needs. That's not necessarily a legal question. So yes, it's important, but when I bring that to the attention of the court, the judge is going to be like, cool, well, you still have a right to your crappy parent and you have a right to your crappy kid, right? If that's really what the situation is. But, when it comes to the counselor side of the hats that we wear, what we want to direct that into would be a counseling situation, a reunification therapy, some therapeutic intervention to repair that. Yeah. And then you kind of get into the arguments that there's alienation, that one parent's speaking negatively about the other. We've got a whole battle on that. A whole book,
Absolutely. And I think a lot of times medical issues can create problems in a marriage too. And sometimes, Walter, a medical issue can be created by someone getting injured in an accident, okay? And right. I know you do automobile accident. That's what we talk about mostly. When you think of personal injury, you think of auto accident. But there's also times where people get injured in a store or in a gas station. Maybe we would call it premises liability. How does that work, and when can you get compensated when you get injured in someone else's house, business, etc.?
Well, Justin, the issue is that premises liability cases are fairly widespread, and many times people miss them. One major thing that I generally tend to find out is that most people end up falling at some point in their life, be it at their home, at a business, or on someone's premises. And the first thing they do is hop right back up, if they're able to, because they're embarrassed. But the effects of that usually tend to spread out over a long period of time. One thing that's very important, anytime that you fall on someone else's premises, please, if it's a business, make a report. If it's at someone's home, let them know that you failed or you've injured yourself, and always seek care following that. The premises liability laws in the state of Florida continue to change. They just changed within the past couple of years as it relates to the responsibility of property owners. And, the best thing to do is generally contact an attorney so that you can explain what took place, where you were, and, if you don't get hurt, wipe yourself off and keep on going. But if you suffered any kind of injury, seek some help.
How do we determine whose fault it was? I mean, it was a puddle, but I should have seen it, but they shouldn't have had a puddle. How do we determine liability in a case like that?
It's about knowledge. Yeah. Property owners have a duty to everyone that comes on their premises to maintain that premises. And I know I'm using the big legal terms here. Sorry, Michaela. But
I'm with you. I'm still with you.
But when someone comes on your premises, you have to make sure the premises is safe, and that if there are any type of dangers that might be on your premises, that you disclose those to people. I mean, people see the bad dog sign or beware of dog, or the big yellow floor stands where stores tell you that there's water on the floor. Those are basic indicators. But if a store has, say, a leaky freezer that does it consistently, and it happens over and over, and they fail to repair it, and someone falls, even though there isn't a wet floor sign there, they could still be responsible for that person getting hurt on their property.
So a business putting up a sign that says, if you get hurt, you're screwed, we're not responsible, doesn't necessarily alleviate their duty to protect you.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, okay.
Businesses will try anything.
Right.
But, the law is what dictates who's responsible.
That's right.
And, the best thing to do is speak with someone, because many businesses, lots of times the first thing they'll say is, hey, let me give you a cup of water and a chair, and, we'll give you a $5 gift card to come back and see us later so you can fall again.
Right.
But, you have to take it as an individual, and if you're injured, be sure to let people know. Take photos of the injury site or what may have happened if you're able to. And if you need care and you need help, get it.
Absolutely. If you have been injured, whether it's an auto accident or you've been injured on someone else's property, call us right now. I will connect you with Walter literally right this moment. 321-282-1055. Erin, I wish we had like another 2 shows here. Can we do this again, please?
Yeah.
And let's say though someone is going through a difficult time right now, a divorce, a custody battle. How does it work? Do I call you up? Can I come to the office and sit down and talk through it?
Yeah, you could call us. You could schedule a consultation online. We have after-hours ability to answer the phone and set you up a time to speak with myself or one of the attorneys in our firm.
Probably a very difficult time, obviously, going through a divorce or a custody battle, but I always hear rave reviews about how you treat people. Guys,
no one ever calls me because it's a good day.
Thank you both so much for being here. We will do this again, I assure you. How was that?
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You got it. My pleasure. Here's what we're going to do. One final quick break. When we return, it's...
What did we learn?
What did we learn?
Thank you. Thank you for including me, Jay.
Michaela and I are here at Pontoon Landing Resort and Marina, the best kept secret in all of Central Florida. Would you not agree?
Oh, it is.
Chris is here, the general manager. This is Old Florida here. This is a secret. This place is beautiful. Great rooms, great suites. If you want to spend the weekend, spend a week here. But also a lot of great things to do here during the week, Chris. What all do you offer?
So we have river tours. We have pontoon boat rentals, brand new pontoons. We have, you stay in the
Beautiful
rooms.
place. What about the river tour? I mean, we have manatees literally right outside the boat here. You do river tours, right?
Yeah, we do 2 of those, 10 and 1.
Yeah.
Wednesday through Sunday, and it's a tour all the way around Pontoon Island. Go by Blue Springs.
This is Old Florida at its finest. Door to door for me, from my house, 45 minutes. I think downtown Orlando, an hour.
Yes.
Yet you feel like you're in a totally different world. How do you describe this setting?
A place like no other. This is so unique, and there's not very many places like this anymore.
You totally upgraded the rooms and suites. They're beautiful, stunning, in fact, very comfortable. How do you describe the rooms and suites here?
They've gotten a lot of love in the last year, and it's wonderful. And we're continuing to make that investment in Pontoon to continue to keep it as a place like no other.
And you can rent this boat here. The boats are brand new, but think about the rooms and suites too. They're all so unique. This is not a cookie cutter type place to stay.
No, it was designed as a fish camp, and it, all the rooms are very unique. So it's not like a big hotel where you have a bunch of these cookie cutter rooms. Yeah, they're all unique.
The dockside deli is awesome. We're building a tiki bar. We have beer. This place is unbelievable. I'm so impressed with what you have done. Chris, congratulations on what you guys are doing here and continue to do. And I've got to tell you, if you have not been out to this area, you're making a mistake. Pontoon Landing Resort and Marina, 45 minutes from my house, not more than an hour from yours. Come out and check it out.
Managing your investment property is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up at GoRent123.com. 2. Let Greater Orlando Realty handle everything for you when it comes to managing your property, from qualifying tenants to collecting rent, processing maintenance requests, and everything in between. 3. Sit back, relax, and count all that money you're making. Earning passive income on your property is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Greater Orlando Realty. Visit GoRent123.com today.
Wrapping it up here on Behind the Law for your Saturday with What Did We Learn? Michaela, what did you learn today?
I learned that I should never speak if I'm basically arrested, You have Miranda rights, just don't say anything.
Totally agree with that. I learned that do not fight over towels with your ex-wife or ex-husband, because that can become one of the most expensive towels of your life with the legal fees that are involved, huh?
Or art, or anything really.
And lastly, I did learn that, look, if you were injured in a business, so you slip and fall, you need to look and see if that business owner had knowledge of the danger there, because if they did, you could recover just like in an automobile accident. Did you know that?
No, I learned it today.
I know. That's why we do this show. And as always, you did a fantastic job today. Thank you, Michaela Nichols. Thank you, as always, for joining us this Saturday and every Saturday for Behind the Law. We'll see you again next week, same place, same time, for more Behind the Law.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.